The new shock does come specifically designed for the Yamaha FZ-09 2016, but I'm going to do a little reality check and measure some stuff. The most important measurement would be the eye-to-eye length. I'm just eyeballing this at 13 inches, and this one 13, so that's good. I'll measure this clevis width, 1.196. This one actually comes with a spacer, so I don't know why they gave me the spacer, because that's 1.196 or 199. Exactly the same, so I won't be using this spacer here. If I turn it around the other way, this one here is 1.180. This one's got a zip tie in the way. 1.180. One thing I just noticed that's different about this Penske is the stock one just has a bushing through here and it doesn't wobble like this, but the Penske actually looks like it's on some kind of a roller bearing. See how that pivots? Which is good, because if there's a slight misalignment, that would fix it. Looks like some kind of a spherical ball bearing. That's cool. The last thing would be to make sure the bolts fit through, same diameter. There's that. This was the upper bolt. That fits in nice there. Of course, it's going to fit here because that's where it came from. Oh, the little spacer came out. Oh, actually, this is cool. They're like little stepped spacers. And this is that sphere that rotates. Spherical bearing. So these spacers would just go back in here like this. One on each side. Very nicely done. This is the valve for the nitrogen charge. This shock is around $800. I think it's gone up to $850, but it just has, see the plus and the minus. This is the rebound damping. I didn't want to spend another $400 to get compression damping because I mainly had it set up. I'm more of a street rider. I told them I like to go around corners fast, in control, but I'm never going to be on a track. So this should give me plenty of an upgrade and enough cushiness for what I need. Since I don't need this spacer, I'm just going to cut it out. It's really easy to get the nuts and bolts mixed up, especially when you're filming. I know that one went there. I'm going to put some grease on these before I install them, but I'm just putting them here so I don't get it messed up. The one over here was for that lower control arm. And this is the washer I don't need, so I'm going to put it away somewhere. One thing that's good about this Penske is it's fully rebuildable. There's oil in here and it wears out over time and it needs to be changed. So you can pull this all apart and change the oil. If you want, you could actually spend the money and add a separate port here with a separate oil chamber and turn it into a double clicker. So you could upgrade it anytime. Like I said, I don't think I really need it at this point, but it is a possibility. They also make a triple clicker for even more money. The triple clicker would like have low and high speed compression damping. The single clicker would just have compression damping, and this one I have here just has rebound damping only. One last thing on this old shock that I find interesting. Actually, two things. One is that it's a good idea to save this old shock if you sell your bike, because you're never going to get the $800 back on the new Penske. I would probably just try to sell the upgraded shock to somebody as long as they weighed the same amount as you. If they weighed 180, you might want to put this one back on. If they weighed 240, maybe say, look, you know, give me another $1,000 for the upgraded suspension. But I'm not going to worry about that today. And the second thing is, this one is not rebuildable. Disposing of a rear shock absorber, I didn't know this. Gas pressure must be released before disposing of a rear shock absorber. To release the gas pressure, drill a 2 to 3 millimeter hole through the rear shock at a point 20 to 25 millimeters from its end as shown. It does say to wear safety glasses when you drill a hole right here. But I'm not going to do that today either. I'm going to save this for now. One of the complaints about the Yamaha FZ-09 is that it comes with really bad suspension. And they did that to obviously save money because the bike retailed, I think, for $9,000. And if you had to add another $1,000 to $2,000 for good suspension, it would probably put people out of the market. And you can really see the difference. Like, here's this shock one, it's just welded and stamped. And the Penske's all this nice machined stuff. I don't know if you necessarily need all this fancy machining, but it sure would be nice to be able to change the spring on here and maybe change the inside to a better damper. That's part of what I got here is they give you the spring that is for your weight. And I can tell this is a little thicker here. I don't even think this other one's labeled. But you have to take this apart inside here, and there's shim stacks that are set up specifically for your weight and your riding style. Like if you ride on track, it's different than if you're just a road rider. I did have them set it up halfway plush for me because the roads are so bad. And I don't really need a super stiff suspension like I ride.